Hello everyone and welcome back to Masterclass Excel. I'm Tom. In our previous lesson, we unlocked the power of lookups to connect separate workbooks. Today, we're going to step a little further into the intermediate level with one of the most exciting tools in Excel, data visualization. Now, numbers and tables are essential for precision, but when you're presenting to a client or a team or management, raw numbers can cause eyes to glaze over. A great chart tells a story. It communicates trends, peaks, and drops in a fraction of a second. And by the end of this lesson, you're going to know how to instantly turn a boring table of quarterly revenue into a dynamic bar chart. You'll learn to use Excel's recommended charts tool to let Excel choose the best layout for your data. You'll expand your toolkit by building line graphs for tracking trends over time and pie charts for showing proportional breakdowns. And you'll also be able to customize your visuals using the Chart Design and Format tabs to match professional branding. So let's dive in and bring our data to life. Let's start with our core scenario. We have a simple table tracking our quarterly revenue over the past couple of years. While the numbers are clear, they don't visually show our growth momentum. To fix this, we want to click anywhere inside our data table, head over to the Insert tab at the top, and look for the Charts group. Here it is, Charts. And when we click on the column chart icon, this one here looks like a column chart, and we select a standard two-dimensional column, without even clicking the button, Excel is showing you a preview of what the chart will look like based on your selected table. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Notice how the bars immediately make our peak quarters and our slower seasons stand out. Best of all, because this chart is linked directly to our cells, if a revenue figure changes over here in our table, the bar chart will automatically update in real time. For example, if I change quarter 2, 2006 to a lower number, let's say $30,000, the chart immediately updates to reflect that. Let's undo that. And you can move the chart around anywhere you like. And sometimes you might not be entirely sure which chart type best suits your specific data set. Let's delete this chart by hitting the delete key. You might not be sure if you should use a column chart, a bar chart, or something else entirely. Instead of guessing, Excel has a brilliant built-in feature called Recommended Charts. Let's go back to the Insert tab, and we've got our Charts section here, and this first large button called Recommended Charts. Let's again make sure we have a cell inside the table selected, and let's click Recommended Charts. We get a pop-up window. These are the charts Excel recommends based on the information in the table that we've selected. And without even creating the chart, we can click through the options of what Excel has recommended for us. This takes the guesswork out of visualization, ensuring you pick a layout that accurately tells the story of your data before you even click Insert. And in this case, I think the clustered column is the best fit for our data here, so let's say OK for that. And in addition to moving a chart around, you can also change the size. Now let's look at a few other data sets to see how best to visualize the information. Here we've got a table of a number of website visitors in a given month and year. And while column and bar charts are fantastic for comparing discrete periods, different stories require different visuals. So let's take a look at two other essential chart types that you'll use constantly. These are line graphs and pie charts. First, when you want to track trends over a continuous timeline, such as our example here, monthly website traffic, or for example, stock prices over a year, a line graph is your best friend. Let's see what that looks like. Let's click inside the data set, go to Insert, and here we're going to select the line or area chart button. And let's try a two-dimensional line graph. And again, we get a preview before we even click Insert. Let's go for it. I'll move the chart up here so we can compare it directly to our data. Now the rising and falling lines make it instantly obvious whether performance is trending upward or dipping during specific seasons. And here's another example. We've got a table here of sales volume by product category. Now if we want to see how these different parts make up a whole, such as what percentage of sales came from electronics versus furniture, accessories, or apparel, a pie chart or a donut chart works wonderfully. Let's see what that looks like. Again, we're going to go up to the Insert tab, and in the Chart section, we're going to click on Pie or Donut Chart. Let's again try the simplest two-dimensional chart. Move that up here, and we can see that it has instantly given us a visual representation of what percentage each of these products gave us in terms of sales volume. Each of these slices represents a proportional share, and that gives your audience an immediate visual breakdown of your category distribution. Let me stretch out this chart to make it a little bigger. And let's play around a little bit with the design of this chart. Notice when I click off of the chart and now click back on, take a look at the ribbon up at the top. I select the chart and we've got two new tabs appearing, Chart Design and Format. Let's take a look at the Chart Design tab first. Here you have total creative control. You could use the quick layout button here to instantly reposition your titles, your data labels, and legends. You can use the Change Colors button to align your chart with your corporate branding or website theme. Let's first look at our options if we check out the Quick Layout dropdown. As we hover over each, it'll show us a different layout design. In this example, it's putting the name of each product category inside the pie chart itself. This second layout takes those labels away, puts them up at the top of the chart, and instead fills the chart with the percentage of total revenue from each category. This third option just shows a plain pie chart with no title at all. And you can play around with these different layouts to select the one that best tells the story. It's always important to remember to click into the chart title and give it a clear, descriptive name. Charts by default are taking the title based on the field that they're showing the data for. In this example, the pie chart is being populated by the data that comes from the sales volume column. So it is labeled the chart Sales Volume. Let's go ahead and rename this chart title to give it a more descriptive name. We're going to double click, select the default chart title, and instead let's say something like 2024 to 2026 quarterly revenue growth. Click off. And these charts do not necessarily have to live on the tab where the data they're pulling from lives. If, for example, we wanted to get fancy and put them all on one sheet, we can just come down to the bottom of the Excel window, click the plus to add a new sheet. This blank sheet looks a little bit boring. Let's go to our quarterly revenue tab. Let's select the chart that we created, Control X to cut it from this sheet, and go back over to our new blank sheet, click anywhere we like, and Control V to paste it. And we can do the same with the monthly web traffic line graph that we created, Control X, go back to our new sheet, click anywhere, Control V to paste. And now let's do our category sales pie chart. And we don't have to cut the chart from the sheet, we can also just copy it. So I'll Control C here and place it here. And now you can see it is still appearing on the category sales breakdown sheet, but we've made a copy and placed it here. And these then can be resized, moved around however you like, to give your boss or your sales team or your client a nice summary of where things stand. And there are a lot more advanced functions and layouts that we can play with in future episodes, but this should give you a basic understanding of how to insert a chart into your Excel file. And look at how much more powerful our reports look now. We've moved from cold rows of numbers to vibrant, interactive charts that communicate trends, proportions, and growth instantly. It's much more interesting to show the graphs to tell a story than it is to show boring tables filled with numbers. And you now know how to select the right chart for your data. You know how to leverage Excel's smart recommendations and polish your visuals for any professional representation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson when we continue expanding our intermediate Excel skills. See you next time.